Today's video is part one of 10 attributes of highly successful companies. At the end of each video, this one and the one later this week, we'll drop in one nugget, one item that's really been helpful to us in the process of either selling businesses or securing capital. So the first attribute is the customer base and complexion. And what we mean by this is there customer concentration? What is the churn rate of customers? How many new customers are acquired? How many customers are lost in a given year? And knowing all of these metrics is an important way to characterize a business. The less concentration, the better. The lower the churn, the better. The more new customers outweighing the old customers means a net positive growth of the company. Second element is a clearly defined solution. What is the pain point that the company's product, service, or offering solves for? What is the thing that it accelerates for its end clients? Can it be clearly defined as to what is the value add of what the company does? Third element is the product. And so whether it's a service, whether it's a physical product, whether it's an offering, is it clearly defined? Are there levels? Are there tiers? Are there different subscription models? Is it well defined? And is it easily understood? Too much choice is no choice for an end customer. Therefore, whatever the offering is, it needs to be compelling, it needs to be comprehensive, it needs to be concise. Next, we look at company infrastructure, and when we say that, when you think of businesses as kind of people, process, product, this is the people part of it. What is the human capital of the business? What are the employees? How long have they been there? What are their capabilities? What is the special connection or cohesion amongst the, again, human capital or organizational components of the business from that element? And lastly, we want to talk about processes, business development and execution. So well-defined processes within a business are a hallmark of successful companies. Not a surprise, but what that actually means is there a reliable, dependable, and consistent process for sourcing new customers? Is there a reliable, consistent, predictable process for fulfilling or executing on that? And are there processes relative to operations, whether that's, again, the human capital of the business, whether that's the financial elements, whether it's the IT, whatever it might be, but understanding, are there processes in place? And so that's part one of the 10 attributes of highly successful companies. They have a customer base and complexion that grows and is not heavily concentrated. They have a solution focus that's well defined for what pain points they solve and what positive outcomes they create for their end clients. They have a well-defined and crystallized product, service, or offering, and whether that has tiers, levels, layers, subscription, however it might be structured, just that it's well defined and that the customer understands what their options are and can see clearly the distinction and value between these different options. Next is the company infrastructure. What are the people component of the business? How has it come together? What does the org chart look like? And does that make sense? And does it have the opportunity to grow? And lastly, processes. Business development, execution, operations. Are there dependable, reliable processes for all of these things that make the business as machine-like as possible? So now that we round out the top 5 there, the one nugget that we want to include in this video is that there's sometimes an inclination to overshare, if you will, when you're discussing an opportunity with a prospective acquirer or capital provider. That is, giving more information, and that there's the assumption that more is better, when it's not really the case. You don't want the strongest attributes of a company to be muddled or obfuscated or in an opaque setting because there's so much other information. Therefore, you want to keep the main things the main things. You don't want to overburden the recipient with all of the information you want to share. You want to stick to a very punchy overview of what are the key attributes of the business. And trust me, when they're excited, they will want to learn more. And that's when there's an opportunity and there's the right time to give more information. But at the beginning, you want to lead with the strongest elements. You want to highlight these variables, make it very clear for someone, such that when they go to discuss it with their internal team that evaluates whether it's acquisitions or capital, that they can communicate it just as concisely as you've communicated to them. So that's the thought for today. Keep pushing forward. God bless. See you next time.